What's up, y'all? This is Andy's story with Wild Lumens, and today we're going to battle. That's right, we have the Atkins Diet versus the Carnivore Diet. Now, full disclosure, I've never done the Atkins Diet, but what I did do is a ton of research to figure out what it's all about. The other disclosure is that I'm definitely a carnivore diet advocate and I practice it. I've actually been doing it on and off since 2018, so I know a few things about it. The other cool thing is that I'm giving you my 7 top reasons on why I believe the carnivore diet is superior to the Atkins diet. That's gonna be in the middle of the video. But right now, strap yourselves in because we're going to a dietary battle. Let's see what happens. Let's dive in and take a look and see what this carnivore diet and Atkins diet is all about. But before we do, let's go all the way back to 1972. That's when Dr. Robert Atkins invented the Atkins diet. Now, Dr. Atkins was actually a cardiologist for his career, and he was trying to figure out a way to get his patients to lose weight. Dr. Atkins' first book, appropriately titled Dr. Atkins' New Diet Revolution, the high-calorie way to stay thin forever, which was released in 1972, really started to set things off. This is a time when low-calorie, low-fat was turning into a thing, and now we have Dr. Atkins coming up with this low-carb, high-fat diet. It really messed with the psyche of a lot of people. Even though Dr. Atkins is no longer with us, his Atkins diet stays strong. He has millions of followers. His website is huge, and his books still sell copies. In fact, his diet back in 2016 was voted the most popular diet in the nation. The other interesting thing I should mention is that he still sells Atkins protein bars and full-on meals. So if that company's still up, you know they got to be doing pretty good. And when you break it down, Atkins diet is somewhat simple. It's kind of a moderate protein, high fat, low carb diet. And it really appeals to people that are trying to lose weight. Just like the carnivore diet, the Atkins diet came out with tons of criticism. In fact, the American Heart Association has criticized him and his diet. And it's just an interesting parallel to see where we are today with the carnivore diet as we were back in the day when the Atkins diet first came out. Very similar commonalities in the amount of criticism both of these diets have and are receiving. But even though Atkins was heavily criticized, his book still managed to sell over 12 million copies, which is super impressive. From a simplistic point of view, the Atkins diet is a lot more complex when it compares to the carnivore diet, but we'll get into that very shortly. Breaking down the Atkins diet, it comes in 4 phases. The first phase lasts 14 days, and this is where you do a heavy carb restriction of not more than 20 grams per day. In his book, and once you get involved with his program, this phase also requires you to take out certain foods, so it's definitely a food restricted phase. I think some of those foods have to do with fruits and seeds and some other items. But if you're interested in it, you're definitely going to want to pick up his book or do a little more research on your own. I'm just kind of going over the basics of the phases. Another thing he does mention in his books and on his website is that people do experience I guess an Atkins flu, which is similar to the keto flu or the carnivore flu. And that's basically the adaptation period of getting into a low carb to zero carb diet. And your body sometimes freaks out. You feel a little sluggish, headaches, nausea. You just don't feel right. You have some flu-like symptoms, but it's definitely not like a real flu. We're not talking coronavirus or COVID-19 BS on this. This is just your average, I feel like crap, getting used to a new diet type flu. So once you get out of phase 1, you're in phase 2. Phase 2 is pretty simple too. What you can do in this phase is up your carbohydrates to an additional 5 grams per day, and I think you stay in this phase until you reach your desired weight. Like I was saying before, the Atkins diet is definitely geared towards weight loss, and for this phase, if you're losing weight, you continue losing weight, and you just stay here until you hit the level that you're happy with. Another thing we should add is that phase 2 allows you to reintroduce certain foods. Like I said, you're gonna have to go to his website or read his book to get the specifics, but I just know there's another reintroduction of certain foods. Once you graduate from phase 2 and end up in phase 3, you can add some more carbs. We're talking 10 more grams of carbohydrates per day, and once again, you can reintroduce certain foods. One of those foods being pasta. Now, that definitely wouldn't fly on the carnivore diet, and certain people with gluten sensitivities may not cope with it well either. Once you're cool with phase 3, you move on to phase 4, and phase 4 allows you to do some experimentation. As I understand it, you can increase your carbohydrate amount, but you can only do so until you're leveled off or happy with the amount of weight that you have at that particular time. Now, that's my super basic, easy introduction to the Atkins diet. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more complex than that. You can do your further research, just hit up his website or read one of his books. I'll put a link for the book below. Now, let's talk about the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is the diet protocol that I'm on right now. I've actually been practicing this diet on and off since 2018, and I write about it extensively on the Wild Lumens website and do these YouTube videos. The cool thing about the carnivore diet is the simplicity. What you're doing when you're on a carnivore diet is essentially eating meat, adding some salt, and drinking water. It doesn't get more basic than that. A lot of people have found some major health-related improvements, all the way from autoimmune issues, digestive issues, skin issues, mood issues, energy issues, sexual issues, weight issues. I mean, it's just done a tremendous amount of help for, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people at this point. The carnivore diet's so simple. There is no phases. Basically, you just go cold turkey if you want to, start eating meat, throw out all your plant matter in your kitchen, get rid of the smoothies, stop drinking alcohol, get rid of the coffees, and buy some good salt. As a matter of fact, my favorite salt and go-to is from Redmond, Real Salt. This company here is based out of Utah, and the reason that I like them is because the salt is coming from Utah and it hasn't been damaged by toxins associated with salt in the sea or contain microplastics, which have been found in salt that comes directly from the sea. I'll put a link to Redmond below as well, or go ahead and hit up their website and type in WILD at checkout, and I believe you'll get a 15% discount. And the only other thing I should mention about the carnivore diet is you're not restricting the amount of food you eat. You basically eat until you're fully satiated. Generally speaking, from what Dr. Sean Baker says, and this is very general, males usually eat around 2 pounds per day, and a female will usually eat 1.5 pounds. Now let's dive into the differences between the Atkins diet and the carnivore diet. Generally speaking, the Atkins diet is focusing more so on weight loss, whereas the carnivore diet is focusing specifically on feeling better, improving your health, and increasing energy. One way to look at the carnivore diet is as a complete elimination diet, and what you're eliminating is plant matter and plant foods or any plant-based product. The cool thing about removing those from your diet is that a lot of people report some serious improvements in their health. And like I was saying before, we have corrections with autoimmune problems, health problems in general, diabetes, skin problems, joint arthritis style problems, inflammation problems, sleeping problems, and a host of other diseases which seem to improve greatly. Now, this is all based on anecdotal evidence, and if you have time, I highly recommend going over to meatrx.com and hit up their testimonial section, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, the carnivore diet is pretty close to being a zero carb diet. If you're including dairy, you're gonna have some carbohydrates thrown in there from the lactose. Whereas the Atkins diet is definitely a modified approach to reducing carbohydrates. you're still allowed to eat plant-based matter and you're still allowed to eat carbs. So that's the difference between the two. You're definitely getting a higher carb intake on an Atkins diet. The other thing with an Atkins diet is you're still allowed to use plant-based oils like avocado oil or coconut oil. That's definitely promoted as the superior oils to cook with on that diet, whereas on a carnivore diet, we strongly discourage that, and we'd rather cook with duck fat or bison fat or beef tallow or lard even. But the cool thing with the Atkins diet is that they do stress eliminating refined carbohydrates from the diet, and you do have some restrictions in certain foods. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some drastic health benefits coming from a standard American diet to an Atkins diet. Now let's get to the 7 reasons why I believe the carnivore diet is superior to the Atkins diet. Reason number 1 is flat out simplicity. The carnivore diet is the essential elimination diet of eating only meat, salt, and water. Whereas the Atkins diet, you're allowed to shop off of a restricted food list, but you have so many other things to throw in there, and you're dealing with forms, calculations, and other things, which you'll see, and we'll get to that shortly. Reason number 2, carb relapses. With the Atkins diet, you're constantly exposed to higher palatable foods than, say, meat on the carnivore diet. And what that means is you're kind of teasing yourself by eating these, I would say maybe sugary or just higher palatable foods than the carnivore diet. And maybe you'll eat something and it triggers something in you where, oh, I got to go eat some more of that. Oh, now I'm going to go dig into some desserts. It's kind of like the cheat day situation. I know a lot of people that try and include cheat days in their diets will have that cheat day, eat some pizza, eat some ice cream, and they just find out that they can't stop. Or that cheat day turns into 2 cheat days and 2 turns into 3 cheat days. You kind of get where I'm coming from. Another analogy I like to use is like a heroin addict. A heroin addict that goes to rehab, comes out of rehab, is cool for a few months, and then that little thing in the brain is saying, I could do a little bit today and be fine, right? Well, you do that little bit, and the next thing you know, you're a full-on addict again, either in the streets or back in rehab. The same thing applies with dieting. Once you're completely adapted on the carnivore diet, I just feel like it's a lot easier to keep going strong if you're not constantly teased with different tasting foods. Reason number 3, the Atkins diet is just more complicated. It comes with forms, net carb calculators, you're jotting stuff down, you're worrying about what you can eat in that particular phase. It's just a higher level of complexity. I'm not saying it's rocket science, but at the end of the day, I think we're all going to be more successful doing things that don't involve overcomplicating it. Carnivore diet is the exact opposite. You're not jotting down anything, you're not counting macros, you're not counting carbs. All you're doing is eating when you're hungry and eating until you're fully satiated. Reason number 4, meal planning. It seems to me from what I've been reading and researching is that a lot of people on the Atkins diet are heavily engaged in meal prepping. And meal prepping, yeah, it does save some time, but there just seems to be a lot more work involved with the shopping list, bringing it back, cooking it up properly. You have way more ingredients to work with. And once again, that falls back into the complexity of the Atkins diet versus the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet, I'm not doing any of that. Of course, I'll meal prep my lunch for the next day or for the next couple of days, but it's nothing drastic. What I'm doing is meal prepping a couple of hamburgers, maybe a steak, and maybe some bacon. It's about as simple as it gets, so it's definitely not as hardcore as prepping for the Atkins diet. Reason number 5, macros. Just like the previous reasons, the macros need to be counted on an Atkins diet. Once again, you're logging in the data, keeping track, and making sure you're remaining below the particular carbohydrate level that you're required for that particular phase you're in. Which brings us to phases and reason number 6. Reason number 6 is no phases on a carnivore diet. There is absolutely none. The carnivore diet is as simple as it gets. I think you're understanding now the simplicity behind it. phases are involved in the Atkins diet. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Reason number 7, shopping. The carnivore diet shopping list is about as easy as it gets. All you're doing is going in, shopping, looking for some meats that are on sale, some meats that you like, but everything is in the general same section. You got meat and dairy. If you can handle dairy, you can shop for dairy, obviously. Now, the Atkins diet is different. You've just opened up a world of different ingredients and foods that you're allowed to eat. It gets restricted on the first phase, less restricted on the second, and even less on the third and fourth. But you're gonna have to be buying a whole bunch of different products, and that just may take more time in the store. So it's a little more complex, once again, compared to the carnivore diet. And not only that, but a lot of us fall victim to buying gimmicky stuff, and you probably will if you're in the Atkins diet. Most people are gonna assume the carnivore diet is very expensive, but it doesn't have to be. Of course, there's expensive cuts of meats. Ribeyes ain't cheap. Wagyu beef ain't cheap. A lot of the stuff isn't cheap, but if you do it right, you're able to stock up on bulk items like ground beef or some of those lower priced cuts like chuck roasts. Use them as much as you can and actually save money. The other cool thing is that usually certain times of the week at the local grocery store or your local butchers, they'll have meat that's either on sale or they need to get rid of at a reduced price. If you can make those connections, you can really make this an affordable diet. The other cool thing with the carnivore diet is you're able to buy a whole cow, a half cow, a quarter cow, or an eighth of a cow, and stock up bulk style. Just get a cool freezer for your garage or wherever and load up. You're definitely buying in bulk, and I've seen people get anywhere from $2 a pound up to $6 or $7 a pound for some of the grass-fed, regenerative farmed cows. I highly recommend the grass-fed or regenerative farmed cows just so that we can keep that movement in motion and making progress with our environment. But that's a whole other topic. And I really think that if we compare the two from a savvy carnivore dieter to an Atkins dieter, that this carnivore diet is possibly able to make the diet more affordable than Atkins. Before I get to my final conclusion on these two diets, I want to mention that if you dig this content, if you dig the carnivore diet, the ancestral diet, and this way of eating, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Tap the like button and drop a comment below if you have questions, or let me know how you're doing on the carnivore diet or the Atkins diet. My quick little conclusion on these two diets. I believe the Atkins diet is a great diet. I'm not even knocking it. In fact, I'm going to suggest that you go to their website and do your own research and figure out if it's the right fit for you. I know that the Atkins diet is definitely geared more so with weight loss, whereas the carnivore diet, like I was saying before, is geared more towards a lifestyle and improving your health first, and then weight loss comes in as a byproduct or something later on, which is definitely possible. I mean, there's a lot of people that have lost a lot of weight on a carnivore diet. I just believe the carnivore diet has more benefits over the long term, whereas compared to the Atkins diet, let's say you have an autoimmune issue or skin issue or some kind of problem that could be helped out potentially with the carnivore diet. If you're on the Atkins diet, you're still eating plant matter or plant foods that could be disrupting your digestion or making your health not as healthy as you could be. So that's just another thing to consider. So at this point, if any of this makes sense to you, I would definitely recommend doing your own research, getting more information on the carnivore diet. There's 2 books that I highly recommend. The first is The Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shawn Baker and The Carnivore Code by Dr. Paul Saladino. I should also mention there's another awesome book that if you do go in the carnivore diet direction, it's called The Carnivore Cookbook by Jessica Haggard over at Primal Edge Health. That book changed my carnivore diet game, and it allowed me to make some more interesting foods in the kitchen and keep it fun and exciting. The last thing I want to say is I dig both of these diets. Anything is better than the standard American diet. With these ones, you're focusing on healthy fats, high fats, low carbs, and meat is included in both of them, obviously. And I'm a huge proponent of eating red meat and meat in general. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial on both of the diets and the reasons why I feel like the carnivore diet is superior. Go ahead and do your research, check them out, and I'm off to make another video. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.